Okay, guys, this is Zoom class on reducing inflammation and adrenal fatigue. And this sold, I usually try to do 20 to 30. Hey, if y'all can all mute your things, that would be great, please. I usually try to do about 20 or 30 in a Zoom class, and it sold out at 40-ish. And I've already sold like a dozen pre-orders, which is kind of crazy. But I wish I'd have just let more people live because there's only 12 people right now. Oh, well. I love your cup, Michelle. Cute. I love some Ray Dunn. So cute. Okay, girls. So here we go. Reducing inflammation and adrenal fatigue. So first, what I want to talk about is my experience with this. Okay, because that's the best way to talk to somebody about something, is to kind of express what you've dealt with. And I do that a lot in coaching in general, because it just works. It works well that way, you know? Okay, so my adrenal issues started probably about 13 or 14 years ago. If you listen to my 5-year Trimmiversary talk, you heard me talk about that a little bit, where, you know, I was just like on the couch all the time. I just couldn't do anything. Like who I am now, y'all, like I was not this girl. I would not have been doing 15 box jumps in a row 4 times. So, you know, Trim Healthy Mama may not work for everybody in every situation, but it doggone will work if you do it right. Because I was just I was living a sad life. It was so sad. And I had little stair step girls. And you know, they needed their mama and I couldn't do it. So I was so thankful when I started Trim Healthy Mama, because that was something that I noticed almost immediately, was the adrenal fatigue left and then the inflammation went away. So that 13 years ago time, doctor after doctor after doctor after doctor after doctor could not tell me what was wrong. It was like, oh, you have Amy disease. What? You know, but it was poor nutrition. My adrenals were whacked out and I had inflammation for days. Okay. Also, I deal with a lot of allergies. Any of y'all, if you have any of these issues, deal with a lot of allergies and stuff. So your body is just kind of overworked, right? And that's what was happening. I just didn't know it. And now, like with all of the experience I have with clients and talking through different things like that, I've learned that's what it was. Okay. So, your adrenals are essential. I'm gonna read a little something because I think it's important. Okay. So this is just from an article online. Your adrenals are essential for your everyday health. They produce hormones that help your body distribute fat and protein, regulate your sugar and inflammation, promote proper cardiovascular function, react to stressors. If your adrenal glands don't produce enough hormones, it can lead to a variety of symptoms and health issues. So we're talking, you know, physical and emotional things as well. Anxiety, depression can creep in. And this is actually one of the leading causes of women that cannot lose weight, is they have adrenal issues. So fast forward a little bit, after I have had my total hysterectomy, okay, and any of you that might be dealing with this, or you have had your thyroid removed, or if you had, not to bring up sad things, but if you've had a lot of miscarriages and different things like that, or maybe you've been on birth control for a really long time, like all those things can cause adrenal fatigue because your body is so worn out trying to keep you daggum alive. And so they just can't quite keep up. So it causes what we call adrenal fatigue. And that is, I think, an overused word sometimes. But if your adrenals are not working right, your body isn't working right. So how can we fix that? Number one, Trim Healthy Mama, okay? Like if you're not on plan, get on plan. What does being on plan mean? Well, we talked about that in some other classes, but to me, it's on plan food on time. So we're going to have foods that are on plan and we're going to fuel every 3 to 4 hours. That's very important. People with adrenal fatigue, their metabolism is whacked out too. I actually just talked with some blooms, like little texting with our post with our tracking review. So they weren't hungry. I'm like, I don't care if you're hungry or not, fuel every 3 to 4 hours. And that doesn't mean you've got to eat, you know, a steak and a salad and all the things. You can simply have some protein powder with some kind of liquid that you mix up, whatever, unsweetened almond milk and whey. Just a little 8-ounce thing. That's fueling. Okay. So I want you to get your metabolism revved up. This will help your adrenals. If your metabolism is revved, that means you're fueling your body, you're loving on it, you're taking care of it. That will help your adrenals act right. Okay. The other thing that I want to talk to you about with nourishing your adrenals is having carbs, healthy carbs in the form of e-meals. Now, a lot of ladies that I have seen that have some adrenal fatigue signs, okay, because I, of course, can't diagnose, bless. I've had a lot of people tell me I need to become a doctor. I'm like, no, that's okay. I don't think so. We'll let those people do that. That'll be fine. But, you just see a lot of patterns and you recognize things when you do what I do. And it just breaks my heart because I'm like, oh, no, let's do this, because carbs are scary, right? Well, there are some different thoughts on this, but my opinion is if you're dealing with some adrenal fatigue, let's not do those super high carb, even though they might be permissible on THM, they may not be beneficial for this part of your season if you're dealing with some adrenal fatigue stuff, right? Okay. So brown rice probably wouldn't be something that you would want to have every day. Okay. Bananas. Y'all know those kind of things. Okay. So maybe some of the waxier potatoes like the reds, or maybe even some of the Yukon Golds may not be something that is your go-to. Okay. Now, as a nutrition coach, this is one of my favorite things to talk about, and I talk about it all the time. The prettier the color, the more nutritious the food is, right? So sweet potatoes, that's why they're so great. Fruit, the beautiful colors of the tropical fruits, you can just get in that bag frozen at Walmart, done. Put that in a kefir shake or some other protein source that you love, and you have got some good nutrition. So what you're going to be doing there, we'll talk about a couple others. So quinoa is a seed, not a grain, so it's nicer on your blood sugar. You've got beans, lentils, all the things, okay? Oats, of course, are great too. And I'm sure I'm not thinking of something right now, but it'll be okay. All right. So whenever we're having those, we are having healthy carbs and they are nourishing our adrenals. And what does that mean? That means that we're getting energy that we need, adrenal fatigue. Maybe you could use some energy, right? Okay. Then also it boosts your serotonin, makes you happy, makes you nice to be around, not the dragon lady all the time. Okay. And you also are having just a good nutritious meal, right? Because you're having that nutrients from the carbs the healthy ones that God gave us. Okay. And it really just kind of makes things work. So remember, E stands for energizing, energy. Okay. So don't forget that. It's very important. The next thing that's super important with E's is that we're going to anchor those carbs in lean protein. I have had people ask me before, so like, I just don't understand how you can have carbs and lose weight. Well, with THM, remember, we're separating fats and carbs in our meals. We're going to have fats or we're going to have carbs for weight loss. Okay. Of course, you can have them together and that's okay on THM, but not for weight loss. So let's go over to the carb with the E's, and we're having maybe a sweet potato. We're going to choose lean protein. We'll have chicken breast, for instance. Round that plate out with a non-starchy, and that will just be well on your way to nourishing your adrenals. Okay. Another great food product type thing, spice actually, would be turmeric. Okay. It is like, it's a beautiful gold color, and it is gold. Like, it is gold for your adrenals. So if you're having that daily, simple, singing canary, simple, it's the easiest thing to do. You can also do, it's like a golden, I think it's called golden milk powder at Walmart. And it's a little mix where all the funky foods and stuff are. They've got little bags of that. It's like a little mix, and it's got all kinds of little extra spices and nutrients and things like that in there. So that's a good thing to do. But turmeric is, they've got a lot of things listed on that. If you have the Trim Healthy Mama plan book, page 153, y'all can go read over that. But it is an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. It fights free radicals that cause disease. I started going to a new chiropractor a couple of weeks ago, and he loves to educate me. And today he said, do you know where they came up with the word disease? And I'm like, no, sir, I don't. And he said, well, if you think about a word that comes out of the word disease is ease. So if you are not diseased, you're at ease, like your body is working the way it's supposed to and going. So the opposite of that would be disease, no ease, right? And I just thought that was very interesting. And he also told me that doctor does not mean healer, it means educator. And I was like, okay, good. I'm glad you told me that. So anyway, I'm gonna pass that information on to y'all because I know y'all wanted to know. Okay, so other things that turmeric does is it calms us while also helping us become more alert. All of that was wonderful to think about. It's also a liver detoxer. It produces bile, which flushes all those toxins out of your liver. A lot of times our livers are kind of gunked up. And so that is a good gentle way to kind of get that worked out. Okay. All right. So I love, of course, the Singing Canary. Tomorrow I have 2 YouTube videos coming out. They're free on how I did the dry mix of Singing Canary. And then finally, the Singing Canary video that I did last March that went cuckoo crazy a couple months ago. There's almost like 19,000 views of that thing, y'all. I'm like, what in the world? I'm just some little girl from Pike County, Mississippi, and there's 19,000 people seeing this video. Well, I uploaded it to YouTube, so it'd be easy for y'all to find. Because if I get one message about that video a day, I get about 10. So now I can just shoot that link over and it's all well. So anyway, y'all check that out, okay? All right, does anybody have any questions about adrenal fatigue? And I hope everybody's okay. That sounded like sirens. Any questions? You can go live on your video or just on the audio, it's fine. Hey, Cindy, could you mute yourself, please? Okay, girls. Oh, yes. Somebody have a question? Okay, I'm going to say no. Okay. All right, reducing inflammation. So this really goes hand in hand with adrenal fatigue, and that's why I match these topics together. Okay. So inflammation can come in a variety of things. So when I think of inflammation, I think of someone's face, things are swollen, you've got the bags under your eyes, maybe your hands, your rings don't fit good. You know, you have swelling in your legs and feet, your ankles, and different things like that. Your joints hurt, all of that. Okay. Now with Trim Healthy Mama, because you're removing sugar from your foods and your drink, you are naturally going to reduce inflammation. A lot of people, if they kind of hit that hard and really stick to it, they're going to see that kind of like a whoosh, you know, with reducing that inflammation kind of early on in their journey, typically. Not everybody, but most of the time. So that is something that you can just be really excited about if you're just starting, because you're going to see that naturally happen when you just take out sugar. You know, now I have had some clients that are like, I've always eaten really healthy and I have not really seen any weight loss in a couple months. Well, that's because your body isn't as whacked out as some other people. So you can be excited about that and wait a couple more months and weight loss will come. So some other things other than, of course, getting on Trim Healthy Mama and reducing sugar and omitting sugar is to reduce dairy. And I did a talk on that a few weeks ago. So don't forget about that, girls. Dairy is one of the most inflammatory foods. I'm really sorry to tell you that, but it is. Now on Trim Healthy Mama, the beautiful thing is we're not drinking a lot of milk and stuff like that, but reducing cheese, is not that difficult to do. It might sound like really kind of sad, but once you start doing it, it's not as hard, because I've been there, I've done that, I have, and now I'm kind of like, I could live without it. It's fine. Nutritional yeast has become my BFF, and it really helps with flavor, in my opinion, especially my eggs, because I was like a pepper jack cheese on my egg every day. Thank you so much. And whenever I decided to go dairy low, reduce my dairy significantly, that was one of the things I had to get rid of. I also replaced butter for the most part, especially in cooking, with coconut oil. And I use refined because I don't want my eggs tasting like coconuts. So, and I'll say my veggies and stuff. So those are just 2 simple ways that you can reduce your dairy intake. Now, personally, I do use cultured dairy, kefir, and fat-free Greek yogurt, but I try to keep an eye on it. Other types of dairy that I do use would be like a Laughing Cow wedge once or twice a week. I typically use that on a sandwich. Other than that, I really don't use it that often, to be honest. Some of the baked goods, they have like cream cheese and different things like that. So if you want to go hardcore, you can get dairy-free cream cheese. You can get dairy-free heavy whipping cream. Of course, we use nut milks and that kind of thing. So you can ease into it, or however you want to, you do you, but you're a grown woman, right? Okay, some other ways to reduce inflammation: make a pretty plate, just like the beautiful carbs, the colorful foods I was telling you about with that. We can do that with our freshies. I'm sure y'all heard me talk about freshies. So round out your plate with beautiful non-starchies. That will help reduce inflammation. Also will help your adrenals because you are nourishing your body well. If you're like, I don't know about raw veggies, okay, fine. Start with one. Do you like cucumbers? Great. Let's have cucumbers every day for lunch, because that's an easy little way to get a freshie in. And maybe the next week, challenge yourself to try something new, something normal. Okay. Maybe like petite baby carrots. That's normal, right? Then you can keep going and seeing what you can add each week. And the next thing you know, you're going to have 5 to 6 different things that you can be adding to your plate. Berries are just a wonderful addition to your meals. Berries are great, super high in antioxidants. So many beautiful things that they have nutrient wise that will help you. Hydration is very important. I meet a lot of ladies that do not drink any pure water all day long, and that is a problem. If you're wanting to reduce inflammation, I highly suggest at least 50 ounces of pure water a day to keep your body detoxed and flushed, and it just really helps with the swelling and all the things that are involved with inflammation. Okay. It'll help work all of that stuff out, especially going hand in hand with being on plan for Trim Healthy Mama. Now, if you are one of those that is like, I don't like water, you're got to learn how to like it. Okay. I'm just going to tell you, you have to learn how to like it. Okay. You just have to force yourself to do some things sometimes. And, water's not terrible. Get you a good filter, whatever you got to do. Now, I do think that the GGMS is a very good addition to that, because the apple cider vinegar and the ginger are going to help with your digestion, which also can hold a lot of inflammation in your gut. Your gut can hold a lot of inflammation, girls. And so that will help with digestion, helping get all that stuff flushed out. And also okra is very helpful with that too. This is kind of, I don't know, y'all can take it or leave it, but the mucilage from okra, especially raw in our shakes, or if we just pulverize it and put it in a recipe, it is going to coat the inner lining of your gut and help move all that stuff out that we don't want. Okay. So that's a tip for that. Going back to the adrenal fatigue and the timing and the metabolism, eating on-plan food on time is very important for reducing inflammation, because it works hand in hand with all the other things that we've been talking about. All right, changing things up is very important, in my opinion, for reducing inflammation, because you don't want your body to get used to a certain thing. And so every now and then, if you just kind of feel a little hint of something like, oh, I might need to start doing such and such, do it. You never know what'll happen. Okay, so try that. Intentional movement, I think, is important. Now, if you have severe adrenal fatigue, I think that going to CrossFit with me would probably not be the best thing for you. Okay, but maybe a light stroll if you're dealing with a lot of adrenal fatigue and a lot of health issues. Just a nice little walk, or there's a dude on YouTube, and it's exercises from a chair. So, I mean, anybody can do that. Okay. You can do that. And it moves your body and it helps work out that inflammation. As you go on, you can increase your exercise and, do bigger and greater things every week. And I just think you really need to listen to your body and just do that. But I think a goal of 2 to 3 days a week of intentional movement is very important. So try that and see how it helps, because I know it will. Okay, the last little tip that I have for you guys is changing your regular table salt to pink Himalayan sea salt, or mineral salt, as THM calls it. Many of you may be doing that. That's going to be very helpful for reducing inflammation. Also lowering blood pressure, by the way, for a little side note there. Okay, girls, let me make sure that I have not missed a single thing. Oh yes, sleep. I forgot that was on my note. I recommend at least 7 hours of sleep a night. If you have trouble sleeping, you may need to refer to someone else. But a product that I have used whenever I feel the adrenal fatigue, and I feel it at about 2:30 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon, I'm like, oh, when was the last time you had an E, Amy? And that kind of thing. So I know that I need to go work on that. So a supplement that I do take, I wanted to share with you guys a couple of little things. This is called L-theanine. Okay, I get it from a local store. It's capital L dash capital THEANINE, L-theanine. It's a little 100 milligram. Promotes relaxation. This is very helpful. Also, when you have adrenal fatigue and inflammation, you probably have a whacked out cortisol level, and this will be helpful. And most people, y'all know how babies get colic in the afternoon. You know what I'm talking about? That's what we're doing. We're just a little colicky. Take a little something to calm yourself, okay? All right. Also, I love the THM CBD oils, okay? I don't really like the creams, but I like the little droppy things. I use the heavy hitter sometimes because I need it, but Chillax and all the other ones, they're so good. Feminine Balance, any of those really will help promote relaxation, especially if you're not wanting to get on some kind of a prescription or different thing like that. And everybody does what they need to do for their own self. Turmeric capsules, if you don't want to mix up a singing canary and go through all that, sure, fine, do that. You can put turmeric in your shakes, a little teaspoon or half a teaspoon, whatever floats your boat. This is a little dietary supplement that I picked up. One of my clients, actually, her functional medicine doctor recommended this. So I'll show you guys. It kind of tastes really good. I kind of like having it every now and then. So it says turmeric, organic turmeric and black pepper blend, raw herbal extract, all natural dietary supplement. And it's all the things, gluten-free, organic, blah, blah, blah. And I just shake it up, and it has just like the CBD oils from THM, it has a little dropper with the little increments on it. And I think I do like the 0.75. And I just do a little bit under my tongue every day, hold it in there till I can't hold it in no more, and I swallow it. And I think it really does help with reducing inflammation. If y'all have seen my before and after photos, which I really wanted to somehow show while we're talking, but I don't know that I can do that. There is one that I put on my stories today. If y'all follow me on social media, it is here. I'm gonna see if I can do this. It is me and my little boy, 6 years apart. Let's see if I can get it. I don't know. Can y'all see? Can y'all see how my face was? That is me. How it was so puffy. And now it's not. And that happened almost instantly when I started Trim Healthy Mama. So that was that picture of me and him when he was little. It was probably about 6 or 7 months before I started THM. And almost instantly, I would say 3 or so months, my face has pretty much looked like this the whole time, except for a few little bumps in the road when I had some issues, but I've always been able to get it back. So I've been very, very happy with that. I wanted to go over one more thing with adrenal fatigue and rest. Something that I implemented into my own life a couple years ago, and it came about out of necessity. As y'all know, I'm very active on social media. I'm very much on my phone. I'm in front of my computer almost all day working. Many of you may do the same thing. And I needed to literally unplug. And so at 8 o'clock at night, I walk out of this room and my computer and my phone stay in here. Now, I don't do that every single night, but as a rule, that is what I do. And so that helps with so many things. It helps me focus on my family. It helps my brain shut up for a second. It gives me a boundary with my job, okay? Because my heart, if I think Michelle is going to text me tonight, I am going to be watching my phone because my clients are very important to me, right? But I had to take care of me and my family, and that's what they want for me to do too. So I think that's important. If you're one of those that is in the bed scrolling Facebook until 1 a.m, that's why you cannot go to sleep. You need to put that up. That blue light is not good for you. and it does a lot in this brain right here. And I'm not, that's not my wheelhouse, but I know it's a thing. So I just want to encourage you to kind of shut that down a little bit. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to open the floor for questions. Does anybody have any questions or anything THM related that you would like to talk about tonight?
Amy, the turmeric drops that you have, did you get those, did you say locally, or do you have it on your Amazon?
No, I ordered it online, not Amazon. Global Healing Center turmeric drops. That's the brand. globalhealingcenter.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's a big old bottle, 2 fluid ounces. Is milk thistle good for inflammation? I do not know. That is not something that I know about. I'll look it up. I have no problem telling y'all when I don't know the answer to things. Helps with your liver. I do know that. And I will say that we can overwhelm ourselves with all these supplements and things to do very quickly. So I would definitely guard you from that, because that can become kind of sabotage what you're trying to do, kind of chill out and be more healthy, you know. But definitely you could look into that. It does help with metabolic process, helps digestion, naturally detoxes your body. Yeah, I would say that could definitely help with inflammation for sure. And probably
I will say if you take too much of it, you'll be in the bathroom.
Good point. Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
We don't want to do that. Anybody else?
How would you know if you have adrenal fatigue?
Good question.
I know you've had it before.
Yes. So it is just, it's just exhaustion. You just cannot like literally, you can't even like push through, you know. There is a test that you can get to test your adrenals. And I mean, that you could know that way for sure. But I have a little image that I use often. Let me see if I can pull it up so I can go through that with y'all. Let me see if this is it. Okay. Trouble remembering things, unexplained hair loss. And it's not all of these, but it, you know, could be. Pain in the upper back or neck with no clear reason, tendency to gain weight and unable to lose it, especially around your waist. Dyspepsia with your stomach, okay, reflux. High frequency of getting the flu and other respiratory disease, lightheaded when rising from a horizontal position, palpitations, dry and thin skin, alternating between constipation and diarrhea. So that is, it can be a lot of things. And I don't want to freak anybody out, but I mean, I'm telling you, it can be reversed. Now, if you have a severe case, I'm sure, I don't want to get into medical diagnoses and stuff like that, but you know, just use your head. And if you feel like you need medical assistance, then definitely do that. But I know from experience that eating on-plan food on time and being properly hydrated and rested will do wonders for a lot of people. Is that good, Brittany? Anybody else? Was I that?
Amy,
Yes.
do you have any suggestions, or do you know anything about like, I just found out, I knew I was dealing with high cholesterol, but my triglycerides are high as well. So I feel like I'm kind of getting, I mean, I was already trying to do THM, you know, faithfully. Anyway, so I'm trying to be a little more faithful. But do you have any suggestions on things that I could eat specifically that lowers like your
I just,
triglycerides,
I
or-
really just think doing THM is going to naturally help. Sometimes when your hormones are unbalanced, it can cause that. So that may be something you look into. And some people are just predisposed genetically to have situations like that. But when you're not having fried foods and white flours and all of that kind of stuff, and you're having beautiful vegetables and stuff, you're going to naturally reduce that. I would encourage you just to get on the trim train and
Right.
stay there.
I've got to. I'm also dealing with trying to get my thyroid. About 20 years ago, they did like the I can't think what it's called. I had to take it was like a radiation
Barium.
pill to kill my thyroid.
It's
So I had to
it's
take
radio.
Synthroid, kind of low, so I'm just all out of whack.
What, Michelle?
It's radioactive iodine ablation, and I had to have it because I had thyroid
Okay.
cancer
Yeah,
twice.
that's what it is.
Wow. Yeah. Thyroid health is very important as well. And so I would suggest having a full thyroid panel by a doctor that you trust for sure. Hey, Susan W.
Hey, I was just gonna say that my cholesterol went down 40 something points from when I started. I had labs done in January before I started THM. And so then I started it kind of on my own and, watching your Zooms, and it's dropped 40 points. So
That is incredible.
I know. I know. It went from 195 to 146. So I think that's 40 something, but yeah, I was surprised.
You go,
That's
girl.
amazing.
That
Yeah.
is amazing.
That's the only thing different that I've done. My triglycerides were not high. They were 91, but they came down to 75. So all right, I just wanted to add that that the only thing I had done was
It does
start
work.
THM. Yeah. Yeah, it
Thank you
works.
so much. That's awesome. Guys, anything else? I have a few more things I can talk about that I have over here in the corner. While y'all think if y'all have any more. Yes. Who has a question?
I have a question.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you are.
You may have covered this since I was a little bit late getting in from work. So thanks to one of your other Zoom calls, I'm trying to reduce my dairy.
Yeah.
And I know that I have some adrenal fatigue. It's improved a lot with Trim Healthy Mama. But that was kind of my last holdout because, chips and cheese. But like I feel, I don't know, like my body craves that cheese when I don't get it. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, is that something else that's missing that I need to add in my diet that I'm not getting from the cheese? Or is that just my body's way of protesting that I'm not giving it as much as it wants? Like, how do I know? Does that make sense?
Yes, I think you know what my answer is going to be.
Well, I know. But how do I know what my body needs in place of it? Is what I get.
Well, I think that a lot of times those cravings can be traded out for something else. Okay. Now, when you had cheese, what exactly, like, were you getting like Walmart generic cheddar slices, American cheese, Tillamook cheese? Like, what are we talking about here?
Queso at the Mexican restaurant, and then mostly like Sargento, Swiss, or sharp cheddar in a block shredded into something. Sometimes
Okay.
the low fat mozzarella.
Okay. So, queso at the restaurant is a very bad word I'm not going to say on here. That's just junk. Now, I eat it. I do. Don't think I'm all high and mighty, because I'm not. It's very tasty. Definitely agree. But your body is not needing, craving any nutrients from that. No.
Right.
So I just really think it is maybe a comfort food for you. Would you agree? Yeah. And so it kind of, it releases a little dopamine in there. maybe. And so your body thinks that it needs it. So I would just encourage you to maybe say, okay, body, on Friday afternoons, we'll have our cheese, and the rest of the days we're going to keep it clean because the rest of you body doesn't need it. But maybe kind of gift yourself with that every now and then. I think that's good because we don't want to be so depriving that we, once again, can sabotage things, just like I was talking with all the stress of supplements and trying to do every blooming thing under the sun, THM, to reach a certain goal. Because a lot of times that can just blow up in our face, right? So nutritional yeast, how are you feeling about that before I go on and on about it?
Yeah, no,
Good.
I'm less than once a week on it. So, I mean, that's good, but it just feels like, I don't know. I don't normally crave foods. Like I want them, but that's not like my body telling me that. So I didn't know if there was something in the cheese that was doing that. So that's just mentally my body saying, no, you just want this. I'm good.
That's what my gut says. I mean, I don't know for sure. Now, nutritional yeast is really what has saved me with wanting to sprinkle things and have this there, all that stuff. It is chock full of B vitamins, number one, nutritional yeast. And it is a great flavor, has a cheesy flavor to me. So that may be helpful for you in this season. Now, when I have salads at home, my dressing is MCT and olive oil or one of the two with salt, pepper, and nutritional yeast. And it is delicious. Okay. And I was doing that before Serene, just so y'all know. I'm just kidding. But I'm not really kidding. I'm serious. But it's so good. And I do like putting it on, veggies and different things like that. Eggs, meats. That's probably about it, but super, super good. Nutritional yeast is what's in Hubby Lovin' seasoning. So if you like that, it's what it tastes like. So, it's really good for breading, for all the things. And so that might be helpful for you to have when you're having that craving. A lot of people, I've never done this, but a lot of ladies do the air pop popcorn and then toss it in, maybe spray it with a little oil spray and then do some nutritional yeast to coat it. And they say that's really tasty. I just don't do it that much to have it. Does that help? Okay. Sometimes we got to do hard things, not having chips and cheese, and it's sad. Wes was saying he wanted like a Rotel, with the sausage and all the stuff. And I'm like, babe, that's Velveeta. It's not real. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out for you, but you're not having that. I'm sorry. Anybody else have a question? Oh, hi. Oh, hey, it's an Amy. Hello.
Hi. Yes, I'm another one on here. Sorry, it went dark. I have a question about inflammation. That I've been seeing some things online, one talking about having a lot of animal protein can increase inflammation. And I understand balancing that like with Creamy Dreamy but with not having dairy, that takes out like another protein alternative.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious, like what your thoughts are and experience with reducing inflammation specifically and the meat protein.
So I think with that, kind of a little budget issue comes in, because I think it's wise, if you're having especially serious issues with inflammation or adrenal fatigue, you may look for just you, mama, to have a better quality meat. And that might feel kind of selfish if you have a family, but that's what you need to get better. It's better than getting a prescription or being sick. So you kind of have to weigh that in your heart. I recently signed up for a Butcher Box to get chicken, because here it is almost impossible to find clean chicken. And it is organic. And then I get the free grass-fed, grass-finished beef. I don't know if y'all listen to the podcast, but Serena Pearl have been talking a lot about that on their little ads on the podcast, on the potty, where they start off feeding the cows with grass, but then they're finished off with grain. And that's not that's not optimal. You want them finished off with grass as well, right? When they grow them. So I think that's important. You know, we're big hunters, and so we have the deer and the venison, which is great. So if you have access to that, that's excellent. Now, when it comes to reducing dairy and that eliminating some of your protein sources, I hear you on that. I think maybe, are you allergic to dairy at all, Amy? Or you just wanting to reduce?
No, I have like a under functioning thyroid
Mhm.
and some nodules. So just looking at ways I've greatly reduced dairy. And I know, like for me, gluten grains and eggs I have signs of inflammation with those. So just trying to take those out, and I see significant progress. So I don't know if I should just continue focusing on that, or if I should look at balancing more plant protein into it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. Of course, you have collagen. Whey protein doesn't have heavens. I can't remember if it's lactose or lactase, but the THM whey is a better one. I know that kefir does not have lactase, and so that is great to use if you want to try that to see how to experiment with it. I mean, it's $2 or $3 a bottle. You can experiment with it, right? And just see how you feel. Of course, vegan protein, you got lentils and beans, hemp seeds, chia seeds, quinoa, nuts. Now, you're not going to get, I would be starving to death if that was my only protein source, but I have a high metabolism, and with my activity level, with the way that my body works, I would have to have something else. So that's just the way I work. Some of you may not need that much protein, and that's okay. So I think maybe you could even think about saying, so half my protein from this meal will come from lean chicken as best, source as I can find. And the other half will come from my lentils or something like that. Maybe you could try that, but THM and fueling your body and tweaking your journey is an experiment. And so it is kind of aggravating sometimes, but it also can be exciting. So I think keeping maybe a food journal and just remembering, I ate this is how I felt, that will help you a lot.
Okay, I will. And that works out perfectly. I just received a food journal. So
cool.
I just kind of winging it. And after I watched your dairy, how to reduce dairy, like I do need to track. You talked a lot about just having that accountability, either with an app, I think is what you were talking about, but
yeah,
you can write it down. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. 8 app is about $50 a year. See How You Eat is free, and it is a great app. I really do like it. It's good. Of course, there's a THM Journey app. I always, they're like, you never talk about that. I'm like, I forget about it. I'm sorry. Okay, anybody else have questions? Amy, another protein source that I think we forget about is gelatin. THM's just gelatin. I add that to soups a good bit. So anything warm, of course, you can put the gelatin in. If you're going to make it, if you're going to put it something cold, it's going to be solid, right? Jello. But there are a lot of really good recipes out there that use that. Miracle Mousse is one of my favorites. It's so good. And it makes several, like it shows 2 servings, but I usually get 4 or so out of that. And you can make that fuel pull. So that's awesome.
Okay. And is that, you said you get like 4 in one recipe?
I do.
So you just, okay. Is that like a snack?
I just put it in little containers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can, it stays in the refrigerator good.
My signature afternoon snack has been tea, an herbal tea, non-caffeinated, because it's another trying to reduce inflammation in that way. And for me, that affects my sleep. So non-caffeinated tea with collagen, or I did try gelatin, and I prefer the collagen, but yeah. I'll have to try the mousse. Thank you for that idea.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Safe, if you're talking about fish, to be a good source of fish, Safe Catch brand tuna and salmon are very good, girls. I stocked up when our Kroger went out of business. I didn't even know they had cans of it. I was like, Give me all of them. So it was great. And then wild caught fish frozen from the grocery store are going to be better than other options that you could get, in my opinion. Butcher Box also has the wild Alaskan salmon, I think, something like that. I hadn't got that because we have a ton of white perch because Wes and his dad fished too. And apparently we're going to start being turkey hunters, so stay tuned for that. I was like, oh, okay, great.
So caffeine can cause inflammation too.
It can. My suggestion on that would be to get organic. I think coffee is one of the dirtiest foods out there. Sorry to tell y'all that, but it's sprayed with all the things in the free world. And so getting organic will just help everybody. THM's Guatemala Java, baby. So good. But you can get organic Walmart brand coffee, guys. It doesn't have to be very expensive. I don't know if they have organic decaf though. I need all the caffeine.
You know, the doctor I work for, he does hormone replacement, and he's real big into nutrition and studies a lot of things. And he talks about how the different brands of oatmeal, a lot of people eat oatmeal, and he talks about how they're all sprayed with Roundup, different things with wheat, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So making sure it's real important to get organic and good sources of oatmeal, but you forget that it's not just oatmeal, like what all that could be.
You're right. That's right.
So I never would.
Go ahead.
I was just saying I wouldn't have thought about as coffee as being one of those things.
Yep. When she mentioned that, I was like, oh, I didn't talk about coffee. Whoops. I'm pretty sure I had written it down, but it's okay.
And caffeine, I don't think caffeine's not good for adrenal fatigue either. So I found out I don't really like coffee without the creamer that was not on plan. So I don't drink coffee.
It wasn't
anymore.
the coffee, it was the creamer you loved.
Yes. Yeah. So I drink oolong tea in the morning.
Hey, that's good, girl. Get that metabolism revved up first thing.
It's delicious.
Put you some MCT oil in there. Yeah. The lists are long on all of these things. And the rabbit hole is deep. But I just wanted to scratch the surface with this and try to get you guys, maybe Michelle didn't write down every single thing that I said, but the things that sparked her and that will help her. I think that's wise. And y'all all get the replays. Y'all can watch us as many times as you want. Bless your hearts. Hey, Michelle Haynes, I just saw you. How are you? So fun when the girls come back. How you doing? I used my little bag the other day you made me.
Oh, good. I'm trying to figure out Zoom here. I don't use it that often.
Oh, well, get used to it, girl, because that's the future of Southern and Healthy with Coach Amy, apparently.
All righty.
Thanks for coming. Okay, guys, any last questions? Once coming twice. Okay, well, I just encourage you to take the info I gave and just take it a little bit at a time. Please do not overwhelm yourself with trying to reinvent your whole life, okay? Sabotage right there, not good. So just take a little at a time, maybe make a list, say, okay, these are doable this week, next week, maybe I'll tackle 2, whatever. Just take it a little at a time. You didn't get this way overnight. You're not going to fix it overnight. It takes time, and that's okay. Use up your coffee that you already have, and when it's time to buy more, you can get organic. Okay. I don't want any husbands writing me hate mail because y'all threw away all your groceries. All right, so I hope y'all have a great week. I have some great classes coming up, and right now off the top of my head I cannot remember what they are, but I do know that next week is sippers and hydration, and I'm really excited to talk about that, and we might make some things that'll be fun. Let's see, the next week I'm going to be taking a break because we will be in Kentucky on vacation. I'm very excited about that. And I still cannot find that image that I created that's talking about what all my classes are. So I guess y'all can just look on my website. Because, oh, there it is. I take so many pictures. Okay, 321 would be prepping ideas, simple to elaborate. That's going to be super fun. And 328 is crossovers and why they are not weight loss friendly, because I see that a lot. Oh, it's a crossover. It's on plan, but it's not on the weight loss plan, friends. Okay. So I just want to kind of work that out and maybe help you learn how to make a better choice if you're going to do a crossover. That's going to be part of that talk too. So I hope y'all have a great night and thanks so much for watching. Bye, y'all.